welcome back to the Teach the Children podcast. I'm your host, Laura Battles, and this week on the podcast, I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the curriculum we're going to be using this fall. So what we're going to be using for our reading and our spelling falls under All About Learning, and they have, that's the umbrella, and it has 3 different lines. They have All About Reading, All About Spelling, and just this summer they have launched All About Math, which is super exciting. I haven't had a chance to look too much into the All About Math, but if it's anything like All About Reading and All About Spelling, it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to talk to you guys about All About Reading and All About Spelling. We have used All About Reading since my oldest son was in 1st grade, and it is a mastery-based program. And I'm sort of looking at their website just to make sure that I get all the words correct. It is a mastery-based program. You only do it for 20 minutes a day. I think I've done it for like 20 minutes max each day, so I don't do too much with my kids. And it's the best part about it with this curriculum is, as a parent and as their teacher, I don't have to come up with a lot of lesson planning and guesswork and trying to figure out how to do each lesson. So, because a teacher book tells me what to say, it tells me what activities to do next, it tells me what to read, and then it also gives me the flexibility to say, you know what, my son or daughter does not need this, and we're going to just skip over it. So it's really great from that perspective. So there are 4 levels in All About Reading. The level 1 is where you start out with just the introduction. It goes over what each letter of the alphabet sounds like. Then it slowly starts building those into words. And then by the end of level 1, you've gone into not only all the sounds of the alphabet, building words, reading those words, but then into the SH sounds, the sh, the CH, the ch, and TH. And then at the very end, you get into the fun one, which my kids always love, which is silent E. So then level 2 picks up right where you stopped in level 1, and it goes even further into all the reasons you use the silent E, and it starts getting into the vowel teams. So AI, AY, OU, OW, it goes into all those. And then when you're done with level 2, you would go into level 3, and it goes just a little bit deeper, and it still is building on levels 1 and 2. And then level 4 sort of wraps it all up. And then the best part about level 4 is at the very end, it sort of helps kids, very briefly, learn how to read words from other languages that have crept into our English language. So it's words from Italian language, French, Spanish, and I think there might be 1 or 2 others. But those are really fun because you really get to pick up on words like fiesta or spaghetti. And so the kids are well, how would you, I'm how would you break this word down? And they'll try to phonetically break it down. And since it doesn't follow true English rules, because it is it's one of those words we just grabbed from another language and brought over to English. So how does it work? Our family has a 4-day-a-week homeschool schedule. So days 1 and 2, I do a lesson. So I introduce the topic at hand. So in level 1, we would introduce, I would do the lesson, introduce the new sounds. We would go through the lesson in the book. So I would do, I'm looking at the book right now. So let's say lesson 1. So I'm just going to open it up here to lesson 1. Lesson 1 of level 1 is going over letters M, S, P, and the vowel A. So it introduces all of them. It also has flashcards, phonetic cards, that you can hold up. And on the one side, it says the letter. It shows you the letter. And on the other side is your teacher side. And it tells you how to say it. And it gives you a word that would be with that sound. So you'd go over that. You would teach your kid how to blend them. So on map, map, map. And you'd go over that. And then you play a word change game. So if you had map, you can change it to like mat, and then you can change it to sat, and you can work through those. And then in the book, they give you these wonderful games. It gives you games that so when you go online, you'd get your teacher book. I'm going to show you the teacher book. This is level 1 teacher book. You would then get, for level 1, you get 3 readers, which I'll talk about here in a minute. And then you would get like all these papers. Now I've put them into these cool plastic file holders, so that way everything is organized. And because I had 3 kids who went through this, that way I didn't lose them and I could just reuse this. So I bought it one time for all 3 kids and I didn't ever have to repurchase anything. It was all reusable. So it has a game, so you can come in here and you can, I cut out the game beforehand and we were able to play the game together. If your kid isn't really big into games, or let's say they just like totally blow through the lesson and they're like, Mom, this is so easy, don't really need to play the game, then don't play the game. I pick and choose some of the games we do and don't play because my kids are like, you know what, I know this mom concept, we don't need to go over that. So then the very last thing you have is it has this sheet of all the words that are new to that lesson. It has sentences or phrases, and then, often it has down here more words or challenge words. So these are words that sort of are just, like if you have a kid who blew through the lesson, those would be words that you could, challenge them on. A lot of times we just get right through it and we move on. Other times we take our time with it and take longer. So like I said, each lesson I take about 2 days with. So if it's a new lesson, Monday and Tuesday, we'll go over the lesson, we'll review the lesson, we'll do the worksheets, we'll play the games. Again, no more than 20 minutes a day. Then on days 3 and 4, they have books. And so in level 1, there's 3 books because it starts off with the books. I don't know if you can see this. The font is really big and it's underlined. And so there's a graphic picture. There's a picture here with it. So that's really great for those readers who need to see a picture. The font is really big. It's underlined. They really try to help your kid and always learn to read. So that's level 1. And we got through level 1 pretty quickly. You can go at your own pace. So my kids, we did about 2 lessons per week, but there were weeks where we went 1 lesson per week. There were other weeks where we could do 3 or 4 lessons per week because it's whatever pace your child is working at. So then level 2 started. Everything is about the same. I don't think they introduced anything new. In level 3, though, they come up with more challenge words. They try to really they really try to make sure that your kid can break words down because you're now getting into bigger, more complex type of words. But again, every level has books that you can read. And what I like about the readers is as you get higher in the level, so level 1, they're short stories. Level 2, they're a little bit longer. Level 3, they're just a little bit longer. And then level 4, they're almost like a chapter book style. And so your kid is getting the opportunity to read almost a chapter once a week to you. And so if you need longer to read those chapters, then just take longer. Nothing's saying you have to finish a lesson a week. Just because that's the pace my kids went at does not mean that is the pace that your kids have to go at. So that's what I really liked all about reading. My 2 oldest kids are all the way through level 4. So now they're reading independently. I still make them read out loud to me once or twice a week. So I make sure that they're still practicing all the rules they have learned. And I make sure that that it's actually sticking. My youngest is going to start level 3 in the fall. And he reads the books that come along with level 3. And then in some of the other curriculum we use, they have books also. So he is exposed to words that maybe he doesn't know how to break down yet. So I just work through those with him. But it's really fun to see him read those other books that aren't in the All About Reading curriculum because he can get a lot of the words without me having to break it down because he knows the rules. He knows the syllable rules. He knows, if there's an I before a C, it goes soft, or a E, not I before E before a C, it goes soft, or an E before a G, it goes soft. So he really enjoys catching those and being able to point those kind of words out to me. So that's all about reading. I love it. It has been great. I've heard lots and lots and lots and lots of great reviews about All About Reading. So definitely a program I would recommend. Now there's All About Spelling. We are also using All About Spelling. In All About Spelling, there are 6 levels. How I choose to do All About Spelling is we do like 1 or 2 lessons, maybe 3 a week. I was really trying to get further ahead in All About Spelling this year because level 1 of All About Spelling is pretty similar to level 1 in All About Reading. And since my kids had all 3 finished level 1, I wanted to sort of get them going, like get the ball rolling on this. But All About Spelling level 1 was re-emphasizing a lot of what you had learned in All About Reading. There is, I've noticed, my kids are strong in reading, but they're not necessarily strong in spelling. And so I've heard before that it's not the same. Like kids can read words, but it's harder to spell the words. So we will be going slower in All About Spelling this year. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I would like them to become a lot stronger spellers than I am. I'm constantly looking up in the dictionary or looking up on Google how to spell words. And I would really like them to know the rules so they don't have to be quite as bad a speller as I am. But I do like All About Spelling for that reason. Again, it lays out everything in the book, like what I'm supposed to say, the activities. Again, we do like maybe 1 or 2 lessons a week. We go over it. And then for All About Spelling, I give them a notebook. So they have a spelling notebook. I pull out 20 words each time we do our spelling lesson. I say them, they spell them, we review them together, and then if they get it wrong, they have to spell it out correctly. And that word does not get put in the back as a checked, checked. We know this one, it goes back into the review. The next time we do our spelling lesson, they get to review that word until we all 3 of them get it correctly. So it's really fun. They all work together. They have a slight competition between all 3 of them who can get the most right. But I have seen very much improvement in their spelling this year. So again, I would recommend that. What I would not recommend is doing All About Spelling and All About Reading at the same time. And I say that if you're at level 1 in both. So my youngest, I waited till he was completely done with All About Reading level 2 to start All About Spelling level 1. I didn't want to start both of them. I did that accidentally with my oldest, and it was very overwhelming for both of us. He was trying to master reading. His brain was working super hard. I could see all the neurons firing, and and then I tried to get him spelling too, and it was we stopped until my youngest got through, and now we're back to spelling, and now I have very much seen improvements on his spelling, but my youngest is able to, it's like the right pace. So I got about level 2, and then I started All About Spelling. You can do whatever works best for your family. If doing both at the same time works best, then do it. But I needed to not do both at the same time. The other thing is there are what we call older versions in All About Reading. And I'm sure there's the same with All About Spelling too. But my books, if you'll take a look here, they're all in black and white. If you're not on YouTube watching this and you're on Spotify or Amazon or one of the other platforms, just go over and take a sneak peek real quick at YouTube. You can tell that all my books are in black and white. The newer versions of All About Reading have all the books in color, like the pictures are in color. If your kids respond better to pictures in color, I would recommend getting those. Otherwise, I was able to find these through a used homeschool bookstore, and nothing was different besides just that these are black and white and the new versions are in color. Otherwise, there was no difference. And I think it's the same even with the teacher's manual. The teacher manuals are mine are all in black and white. the new versions are in color. I don't need color. If color is something that you need, then go get the colored ones. Last thing I want to say about All About Reading, All About Spelling, is you can go online to purchase this, or you can go through my affiliate link. So Teach the Children is an affiliate of All About Learning. So what does that mean? It really means nothing for you, the shopper, the consumer. You, on my notes section of the podcast, whether you're on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple, whatever, in that notes section, it says I'm an affiliate for All About Reading. If you click on that, or All About Learning, if you click on that link, it takes you to All About Learning. You can purchase your products. Nothing is different for you. It's the same price as going straight to just their website directly. The only difference is that Teach the Children then gets a small kickback from you using that affiliate link. And from that small, like a very small percentage kickback, it goes back to Teach the Children to, pay the bills. So the rent, utilities, being able to get new product in the store, hosting classes, that kind of thing. And so again, Teach the Children is a nonprofit. We rely on donors. And this is just another way to do it. So if you really, you pick this up and you're like, man, I really want All About Reading, I really want All About Spelling, or the new one, All About Math, I would just ask that you go through my affiliate link and support Teach the Children that way. Thank you guys so much for listening to these podcasts. This is just one of the small things I'm doing this fall for our school. I will come back on this podcast and talk to you guys a little bit more about what I'm doing. I'm hoping to get a friend on here soon, and we're going to talk about what we're doing for our history, Bible, and literature this fall, which I'm really excited about that. I need to get that pulled together, but I'm excited for that. So that's in the upcoming podcast episode. But if you guys want to comment about any questions you have on this curriculum, put it in the comments below. I ask that you would share this podcast if you found it useful or helpful, or if you know someone who's like, man, I'm looking for a reading program, what should I look into? Share it to them. It just helps get these podcasts out there for people in our area and just in general who are looking for help with their homeschooling. And that's what Teach the Children is here for, is to help families be able to homeschool and be back to families first. So thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm super excited to be talking to you all about this, and I'll just see you next time. Thanks.